Welcome back to Elysium. It has been a little while. When we left off, we had just defeated England in a war and taken their land they had in Australia, as well as parts of Brazil where we plan to set up a colony. For our next move, I want to subjugate Ayutthaya here. We've taken a province from Vietnam. We'll give that back once we don't need it, but we're calling up a bunch of mercenaries. Thinking about it, I probably should have gone mercenary ideas instead of offensive ideas, because we have a lot of money and a very high income due to trade and our vassals paying all the tax. So we can circumnavigate the problems we have with manpower by just using mercenaries. But of course it's a little too late now. I'm sure we'll survive though. Should we declare war on Ayutthaya now? They have 81,000 men. We've called up 60,000 mercs. I definitely want to call up more, but I think we'll declare war right now. We'll call in Brunei. We'll call in Yun. None of our other people are willing to join, but we'll declare war. We're not going to go on the offense immediately, we're just going to kind of wait. In order to subjugate Ayutthaya, we need to rack up 79 war score, which isn't insurmountable, but of course we'll need to be a little careful. If we're lucky, and we are, the Ayutthayans will go on the offensive against our vassals, and we should be able to just clean them up. One thing we do need to be careful of is our armies are actually inferior to the Ayutthayans. They have a fair bit more morale than us, though to be fair, our low prestige is causing our morale to be lower. Fortunately, we've got a few random events that have damaged us in that aspect. They're also a tech above us in Mill, which is unfortunately one of the better techs that give military tactics. We should be able to overcome them though, just through sheer mercenary manpower, though maybe not in that battle. At the very least, we can just wear them down eventually. As long as they don't occupy our one Diviet province, we can continuously just call up mercenaries. Ooh, and it looks like they're going to occupy our one Diviet province. Ah well, that's not too bad. Because Yun is in the war, the Ayutthayans will try and occupy them, which will work to our advantage a little bit, as they're going to need to siege down the forts here. Oh yeah, we finished the Panama Canal as well. Isn't that excellent? That gave us a lot of prestige, which will help with fixing our low prestige issue. That was something we also needed to do to finish the blue branch of our mission tree. In order for us to gain the ticking war score for this war, we just need to take their capital. It's a little bit like the Imperialism CB. Funnily enough, our allies and vassals are going over and trying to occupy land, although I'm not sure they'll be able to occupy it before the enemy comes over to attack them, as we can see here. Will we arrive in time to help our allies here? It's gonna be, yep, it looks like we did. That's perfect, we should be able to throw them back and occupy this location here. Now we need to march on to their capital. Unfortunately, we're gonna need to, no, actually we can go straight there. I thought we would need to occupy this fort. I think we will occupy this fort anyway though. Ooh, we're going to get pushed back here a little though. They managed to reinforce. They did take casualties though. And unlike them, our mercenaries can replenish as long as they have manpower. So it's not really an issue for us to lose battles like that. Whereas they can't really afford to win battles like that. They need to do better and take less casualties if they want to overcome us. We are making so much money, I need to keep remembering to invest it. One of the most annoying parts of the EU4 is spending all of your money. EU5 does a much better job of making it not the painful experience it can be in EU4. Alright, let's see about occupying the capital of the Ayutthayans here. Our allies / vassals have decided to do us a favour and blanket siege. We've taken their capital, so now we just need to force them to submission. Looks like Vijayanagar just took a beating. That's actually pretty great. We should be able to peacefully vassalize them now. They're also forced to release Koti. We could vassalize them as well. Perfect. It's nice to see the nations of the world beating each other up for our benefit. Oop, well there we go. England has once again declared war on us. This time, again, they're going for our colonies in the region. That's an annoyance. It will easily distract us from our war with the Ayutthayans. I suppose it's another opportunity for us to take more land from them in the Americas. Maybe I should say the Elysians, as well as territory around the world. How strong are their colonies? This one's got 38,000. This one's got 34,000. This one's got 6,000. Our own colonies aren't quite as strong. They're going to need some support. Luckily, they are very close to our borders, so we can just hire mercenaries to help them out. One of the issues is we're going to go over our force limit, which gives us -10 to our discipline because of the military doctrine we're using. And unfortunately, we can't change our army doctrine while we're at war. A part of me kind of wants to peace out Ayutthaya here, because then we can de-raise the mercenaries here, but I don't really want to leave a war unfinished, right? To be fair, they are kind of beating us up in the region. We're likely going to need to hire more mercenaries to overcome them. And since we've got that -10 to our discipline, our armies are even worse at the moment. As you can see, they're going to jump us here. And you can see the -10 taking effect, which is a pity. Well, at the very least, this is the province we're fighting over, so as long as we can hold it, I know they're occupying it right now, but as long as we can hold it, we can win. We do have our standing armies. They've managed to replenish a fair bit, though we still have quite low manpower. We could ferry these guys over, though, instead of hiring mercenaries. We've kind of worn the Ayutthayans down now, though. They don't have many soldiers left, and they don't have much manpower. I guess we just need to kind of blanket siege their nation for them to surrender. Meanwhile, we're continuing to transport our army over to the south. A British force has kind of trapped themselves up in the Panama. This could be great. We should be able to catch them and stack wipe them. We're very close to pacifying the Ayutthayans now. They don't really have much of an army left, but our mercenaries are kind of running out of manpower, so I'm not confident in our ability to defeat them. Maybe Wu can just win the war for us. Or maybe I'll say all of that and then we'll just slip across the line to the point where they accept. There we go. Pacify them. We're going to decommission all the mercenaries we have over here for the moment. And now we can focus our attention on the war with the British. They've got a little bit of war score against us, but that's mainly for them occupying the war goal. So we'll now turn our attention to said war goal and counter-occupy it. We're actually getting a little bit of a coalition form against us by the nations that were subjects to the Ayutthayans. I suppose it's up to them. I'm not sure it really matters though. One thing we'll do is we'll guarantee their independence. We don't really want them killing each other, just in case they grow too big for us to peacefully vassalize. Mauritania has actually attacked our vassal in Brunei. My knee-jerk reaction was to say no, which I think may have been for the best. I guess I really just want to focus on the British. I suppose we'll see how well Spartania does at actually invading Brunei. May have been a mistake. I suppose we'll find out, right? We have beaten the British back here. We just need time to pass, I guess, so that we can gain ticking war score, as well as occupying some of their territory. Unfortunately, we don't have access to the concede region war goal, so we'll have to take land manually. I think if I was going to take anything, I would take something in Africa to give us proximity to the nations here. If we get close enough, we should be able to peacefully vassalize them, which would be helpful for our mission tree. We'll have to see whether we can rack up 10 war score against the British. It shouldn't be too difficult if we can just maintain control of the war goal. Behind all this, we're upgrading all of our, or nearly all of our wonders to max. We're going to max the Hippodrome. We're maxing the library. We'll have to hold off on maxing the arsenal though for a little bit because it's in the same province as this other thing. So we'll need to max this one first, and then we can see about maxing the naval arsenal. Let's continue to spam barracks everywhere. We really want to try and overcome our low manpower issues. We're getting we've gotten over 600 income now though. We're getting close to the point where we could become the economic hegemony, which we'll need to do. Well, not necessarily the economic hegemony, but we'll need to become a hegemony in order to progress down our mission tree. So the sooner that happens, the better, really. England is requesting white peace, but as I said, I'd like to see if we can't just get that 10 war score we need to grab some of their provinces. There we go, 10 war score. These little islands should be enough. Should we grab anything else? We could grab some of their land in Peru. We haven't actually formed the Peruvian colonial nation yet. So grabbing these 2 provinces would let us form it, I think. We'll take 100 gold from them, I guess, and then we'll make peace. I don't really want to spend too long at war in a war that isn't our goal, because while we're at war, I can't peacefully subjugate people and I don't want to risk them getting eaten because I was busy elsewhere. Wow, looks like Spartania did end up taking a lot of territory from Brunei. That is a bit of an annoyance. Luckily, it's not insurmountable. Now we can think about one of my personal goals though, Japan. Japan isn't very strong, but it's almost impossible for us to peacefully subjugate them. But now that we've built the canal, it's not too difficult for us to get our navy over to Japan so that we can engage in a naval invasion. So let's bring our navy over. We're likely going to just use mercenaries for this war. We need our manpower to replenish. We are going to have to go to war with the Ottomans though. Let's deal with the Japanese first before we think about that. Japan's currently at war with Russia and Shun, so we should be able to slip in and get them. Just waiting for our navy to move over. Let's hire some mercenaries. We've got to be careful though. We've only got 34 transport ships. What we'll likely do is we'll land, capture a location, and then call in more mercenaries there. We'll probably head for Satsuma. That'll be our landing point. Navy's arrived. We haven't upgraded my ships for a while. Surely we'll be fine. We'll fight this war, then we'll upgrade them. I guess we'll call up the Varangian Guard. There's not many of them, but they should be able to take a landing point. Alright, let's see if we can't crush the Japanese. Should we call anyone in? We call in Ning. They don't have access to the sea though, so they'd be worthless. We call in Vijayanagar. I think we'll call in nobody. We should be able to handle this on our own. We'll just put the guys on the ship, sail across the sea, land in Satsuma, take Satsuma. The Japanese have shown up though. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now that we've taken the province, we'll call in a mercenary band. The independent army should do. Ooh, the Japanese are going to attack us before we had a chance to replenish our morale though. Well, let's see how it goes. We'll probably lose this one. Yeah, they have a lot more discipline than us. That's not unsurprising. They are the Japanese. Yep, they defeated us. They might actually stack wipe us here. That's too bad. I should have... Ooh, well, that was awful. They really caught us out of position there, the Japanese. We probably should have waited for the next tech and just grabbed this. The extra combat width and fire damage. Now what do? I guess we could hire more mercenaries. We'll need someone to make a landing zone. It's still though. I guess we probably should have landed up in the north instead of in the south where they're fighting with the Russians. That would have been the smart thing to do, wouldn't it? Let's summon the Kuwait Company over in the Philippines. Now we'll take the Kuwait Company and we'll head to the north side of Japan. The Russians are really doing a number on them. Hopefully they don't take too much land from them. I wouldn't like to see Japan being reduced and made part of Russia. Alright, we'll land on this northern island as discussed. We'll once again call up the independent army because for some reason they've replenished immediately. Now there's 61,000 of us. I guess we'll just follow behind the Russians. The war goal is for us to take their capital. So as long as we're the ones to slip in and occupy it, what the Russians do isn't really relevant. As I said, ooh, it looks like they've just made peace actually. And we've kind of been caught out. Let's retreat back to Hokkaido. In fact, let's cut them off. If we occupy this province here, they won't be able to cross into Hokkaido while our navy's there. Now we'll see about occupying the fort here. Should we call up more people? They have 45,000 men. The independent company alone has 45,000 men. I'm not sure if we'll need more, so I think we won't bother. That's Hokkaido occupied. Let's see if we can't pull them in. If we can get some of them to cross and attack us, we can then cut them off and stack wipe them here in Hokkaido. Although it looks like they're moving their whole army across. Let's see. One group is going to arrive on the 19th and the rest going to arrive after that. So as long as we jump out and, as I say, I miss the timing, we're going to cut off none of them. We cut off none of them, okay. I guess they're trapped in here with us. And now that they've taken the port, they can actually just go back. Although, yeah, it looks like they're going to go back. Maybe we can nab some of them then. Grab that cheeky 9,000. Definitely not a perfect play by me, but I guess it worked out. Should we try it again? Let's pull back. Doesn't look like they're interested in crossing. Oh well. I guess we'll be the ones to cross. Just attacking into them across the strait like this is a little risky though. But we're going to try it. The Russians are in the way, so I can't quite see that well. I think we're going to win though. Yep, we pushed them back. And that should be that then really. That was really the majority of their army. We just need to head in and siege their capital. Looks like there is a fort somewhere here in the fog. So we'll need to occupy that. We'll keep our navy up blocking Hokkaido just in case we need to retreat or pull in troops or summon more troops up there. There's Kyoto occupied. Perfect. We just need to rack up a little bit more war score and they should surrender. Only Japan is going to take offense to this, so we shouldn't need to worry about a coalition. And really, we shouldn't worry about a coalition anyway. I mean, who's going to join it? Chinese states? There's barely any of them left that are independent. And there we go. I guess we'll just make peace now. No reason to draw the war out and bully them. This lets us complete one of our missions. Open the Japanese ports. We just need to do one more mission. And then we can finish this mission. And then we'll be one step away, or two I should say. We still need to complete these two missions in order to complete the blue path. Let's disband our mercenaries. We don't really need them anymore. Jia is now willing to submit. That's perfect. We'll get them. Also managed to get this nation of Congo. That's excellent. In fact, let's ask for maps of this region. I want to know who's here in Central Africa. Unfortunately, it looks like the region's been pretty consolidated. There's only two nations. Maybe there's a third here, actually. We'll need to let our prestige recover so that we can get maps of this region. We may be able to passively vassalize these two. Maybe not. I guess we'll see. We'll see. Now, is it Ottoman time? It might well be. They're allied with France, though. I'd rather not fight France and the Ottomans both at once. I suppose Kilwa is actually allied with Jean-Pur. We could go to war with Jean-Pur, and bring the Kilwans in and maybe shatter their alliance with the Ottomans, that wouldn't really solve the issue. We do have to defeat the Ottomans, though. We need to either take these locations here, or we need to take this one here. It's a pity the Ottomans have colonized here. If they hadn't, we would be pretty much done. We'd be able to finish this mission, and then we could just think about the around Africa and the Indian ambition ones, which the Indian one isn't too difficult because we just need to subjugate large portions of India, which we've already done. We would just need to beat up Jaunpur, Bengal, Bahamas, Delhi, probably Gujarat as well, and then we'd be done with that. Around Africa's the awkward one because we need to gain a certain amount of trade power in the regions around Africa. The Cape of Good Hope and Zanzibar are the ones that are the problem because that's where Kilwa's based. So if we subjugated Kilwa, we'd pretty much finish that mission outright. Though to be fair, maybe not, because Britain is doing quite well in the Ivory Coast. But now let's do what we discussed. Let's upgrade our navy. Let's actually look at the tech. There's no upgrade next in the next Diplo tech, so we haven't got a problem upgrading. How many ships do the Ottomans have? What do we know about their navy? The Ottomans have 39 transports, 123 galleys, 96 light ships and 43 heavy ships, so they definitely beat us. Let's use our immense wealth to beat them back. Let's make 73 heavy ships, which will bring us up to 100. Do we need anything more than that? 100 heavy ships can probably beat them, right? Let's go up to 100 light ships as well. So we'll need 24 of those. Surely 100 of each can win. I'm not going to bother making any galleys. It might be a bad idea, but I'll try and fight them in the open sea here. Outside of that, let's give Vietnam back that province, actually. It's been a while, and I feel mean keeping holding of it for so long. There you go, Vietnam. We've gained access to the Central Africa region. So let's begin subjugating all the people that are still here. It's nice to see they haven't all been disintegrated. Rwanda's expanded and conquered all of the central nations, though I guess that's not that odd. Should be able to pacify them as well. It's unfortunate we're not going to be able to pacify the Congolese peacefully. At least I don't think so, actually. We might be able to. If they become aware of us, at least, that'll give us 20, likely due to threatened or happy relationship. If we can just get their opinion of us high, which should be possible. Aha, so it's been 50 years since we switched over to the exploration ideas, and since we've explored the whole world, and there's nothing really to colonize outside of parts of Africa that we can't really reach at the moment. So we're going to switch back to our development ideas, which will help with the colonization of Elysium. We are getting close to the point where we'll say, you know, we don't actually need colonists anymore because we'll have colonized the whole world, or at least the parts of the world that can be colonized. While our navy's building up, should we go on the offensive against one of the nations in India? We do need to pacify all of them. We've managed to pacify all of Indochina now, so really we just need to go into India now. Is it possible for us to get Bengal to come round? It might be. If we take away that -20, that'll take us to -30. And if we say add +20 for them liking us, that would take us to -10. I think it is possible to bring them round. Let's see if we can't peacefully bring Bengal to our side. Ooh, Kilwa has decided to attack one of our vassals. This one here that broke free in Madagascar. I guess let's join. We're not the war leader, so we can't really control anything. It doesn't look like Kilwa is called in the Ottomans. They may do so, though. We could protectorate them if we racked up enough war score. If only I'd been prepared for this, I would have summoned mercenaries preemptively. There's a Kilwan army right here, though, which makes me a little hesitant to summon mercenaries in the region. I guess let's do it anyway. Let's hire a group here. How strong is Kilwa? They've got 100,000 men, so they're definitely no pushover. But as long as the Ottomans don't join, I'm actually pretty confident in our ability to win. It's likely they'll call in the Ottomans, though, if things aren't going their way. So maybe let's just think about fighting and winning this war, more so than thinking about annexing or pacifying Kilwa. At the very least, navally, we should be able to beat Kilwa. Where are they in the naval screen? They're only here. They've got 16 heavy ships, 39 light ships, so we should be able to beat them, especially since we've made a bunch more heavy ships and light ships. Let's bring them all over. I guess we'll gather here and then sail over. Since this war is for Madagascar, As long as we can stop the Kilwans from taking it, we should be able to win. Maybe I've overestimated the Kilwans. We're kind of slapping them around. Alright, Navy's over. The Kilwans have called in Jean-Per now, though I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do. They don't have a navy, so they can't physically get any... I guess they can walk over to Kilwa. I suppose we'll have to see what if they do. They could definitely tip the scale if they did. At the very least, we've managed to secure the island, and Kilwa hasn't made any progress onto getting to the island. So at the very least, they can't win the war. We wandered into quite a large army here. We're going to have to fall back. That's unfortunate. We were doing so well. That's the problem with walking into the fog. Well, the problem is since we're not the war leader, we can't force the allies of Kilwa out of the war. So we'll be relying on the AI to decide when it's good to peace out with the enemy. I'm not sure they're very good at that. Oh, this isn't looking good. They're bringing their full strength against us. And there's just a little too many of them. We can't actually hire any... Oh, wait, actually, the independent companies come online. We could hire them. If we'd had them to start, this would have been, I think, a lot better for us. And we can't really hire them now because they'll likely just get stack wiped. That's unfortunate. And we don't really have anywhere else we can spawn our units. Yep, there go all our mercenaries. I suppose we could wipe peace and hope that our ally is able, or our vassal is able to just handle the Kilwans and not lose anything. I was hoping we could capitalize on the war though, but it seems like I kind of threw it away. If I'd known the independent company or independent army was about to become available, I would have waited. I suppose we could summon them here though. We don't have the ships to transport them across. We only have 39 ships, and we would need 45, but I'm not sure just the 45 independent army would be enough to win. We can't summon anyone else here. None of our other mercenaries have access to the territory. To be fair, maybe we don't need to rely on mercenaries anymore. We've got a lot of manpower and we're gaining nearly 2,000 a month. We've also built up quite a few armies, though they're not really tested, and bringing them over piecemeal wouldn't be a great idea, right? Let's use our brain. We could land in, say, Congo. Congo does like us. They should give us military access. And then we vassalize all these guys, so we could just walk from Congo over to Kilwa. We don't necessarily need to fight over here for South Africa. The situation looks quite secure here in Madagascar. We could just leave behind our 62 heavy ships to ensure the situation remains under control. But there is the risk that if we take large casualties, someone like Britain might jump us again, and then we'll be drawn into an even bigger conflict. Before we do anything else, let's expand our army a little to make us look a bit intimidating, and then let's think about transporting people over. What we could do, transport somebody over Occupied Province, call in the Grand Company or Independent Army to help buff us out. Right, Operation Actually Get There has been a success. Now we're going to walk through our vassals and the unoccupied territory in Africa and get to Kilwa itself. Hopefully our vassal doesn't decide to just wipe peace Kilwa or end the war whenever. If we can get to their capital and occupy it, it might be possible for us to protectorate them. If worst comes to the worst, what I think we'll do is, instead of protectorating them, we could just ask them to end their alliance with the Ottomans. I think we'll just do that actually. I doubt our vassal can really lose from their current position. Or at least I'd like to hope they can't. But even if they could, even if Kilwa, say, annexed them, it wouldn't be a big deal because once we conquer Kilwa, we'll gain control here in the region. We don't really need that nation to exist or to be our vassal. Their existence is kind of not required. Let's see how the Kilwans react to us showing up in their capital. Kilwa's capital occupied. Should we make peace now? We can. We can make peace and have them end their alliance with the Ottomans. I don't think we're going to end up racking up enough war score to get them to submit, so we're going to go with ending alliance with the Ottomans. They're also allied with Spain, but we don't really care about them, and Jean-Per, we don't really care about them either. Make peace. We'll send the soldiers we've brought here down to occupy our lands in South Africa, and from there we can use them to carry out our invasion of Kilwa once the truce is over. I think it's time. I know it's scary, but I think it's time we attack the Ottomans. All we need to do is occupy 2 locations and take them. This one here, I believe. Maybe not though, actually. No, I don't think so. We just need this location then. That's all we need, and we won't need anything else from them for the moment. We could take these extra provinces here, and we'll do so if we're lucky. We have a navy of 100 heavy ships, 100 light ships, going up against the Ottoman navy of 50 heavy ships, 93 light ships, and 123 galleys. I'm pretty confident, as long as we don't fight them on the inland sea. I mean, honestly, we could just build a bunch more galleys. And I say more, and by more I mean any. But I just don't tend to like galleys. It's just how I am. But I'll humour you, I'll humour everyone. We'll make 100 galleys. And I guess we'll wait for those to be built. And then we'll attack the Ottomans. While those are being built, let's get into position. What I kind of want to do is not actually fight myself. We'll call in the nations around the area. They should be able to just occupy that one location, right? It's not like there's any soldiers there. Then we just need to defend it and focus on stopping Ottoman troops from getting to the location. Ooh, Brunei has once again been attacked by Spartania. We actually might be stronger than Spartania at this point, but I don't really want to fight them, especially since I'm about to go to war with the Ottomans. It's an annoyance. I feel bad about leaving Brunei to get killed, but it doesn't really matter if any of their land is taken by Spartania. Spartania doesn't count for these missions, so it actively doesn't matter if they take land in the area. We're going to let them do as they please for now. Their time is coming, where we punish them for their hubris. In fact, it's not far off. We'll give them the field today, but tomorrow we will have our revenge. We've also unlocked our glory meter from upgrading our hippodrome to max. Basically, as we kill enemies, glory increases, and once it reaches the max, we can press it for a modifier while we're at war that lasts for 2 years, or if it reaches max and we press it while at peace, we gain a modifier that lasts until we go to war. It's not going to make a big difference in our coming war against the Ottomans, because I don't plan to really engage them militarily, at least I'd like to hope we don't. If during this war we end up fighting the Ottomans toe-to-toe, you can say safely, something has gone horribly wrong. I'd like to see if we could bring Bengal around before we fight the Ottomans, though we're very close. We're very close to them being willing to become our protectorate. We just need a little bit of dip reputation. Alright, we've managed to do it. Bengal will accept and become our protectorate. I mainly convinced them to give back cause to some of the nations we had as protectorates, but that reduced their development down to enough where they were willing to accept. Perfect. I don't think we're going to peacefully be able to vassalize anyone else, though. Not in India. Doesn't look like it. I'd love to be able to peacefully vassalize Congo. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get them to accept, though. Their development's too high. Now, we have 99 of our galleys available, so I think it's time. Enough prancing around. We're going to fight the Ottomans. They're going to call in France, Tunis, Bahamas. That's all fine. We plan to basically just guard this entire island with our very large navy. If anyone does decide to transport their troops over to the Americas, we should just be able to murder them, because they'll have to be transporting their army over in small groups, as usual. So let's begin. We'll be declared for this single location. We'll then call in the nations around that location to come and occupy it for us. As discussed, we'd like to grab these other locations the Ottomans have, but that is not a priority. The priority is basically just to sit on this location and let the war score tick up. Not the most glamorous way to fight, but it's our way. War goal achieved, now we just need to wait. While we're fighting this war, our truce is actually going to end with Kilwa, so we need to be mentally ready to just immediately attack them once the war's up. They are allied with Spain, but, you know, who cares about Spain? Jean-Pierre as well, who cares about him? Both could be an annoyance, but since we'll be leading the war, unlike that war with our vassal, we should be able to come out on top. Nothing's really happened so far in this war. We're just slowly ticking up that war score. I guess we could just bring our navy round and intimidate the Bahamas. No more than they deserve for daring to defy us, but I'm not really interested in engaging them militarily. I'm also not interested in calling in people who could actually be attacked. Thinking about the Ottomans are here, so they could very easily just invade our lands here in northern India, which is not something I really want. I just want this to be a peaceful occupation war. I'm not really into fighting the Ottomans just yet in a big military conflict. The time will come. We'll likely try and bring all of the world's resources against the Ottomans in one big war. Somehow, without me noticing, the Ottomans have actually teleported over to South America. They've even brought Tunis and France with them. We're still winning on the ticking war score, though. Should we bother fighting them? I guess we could. We don't really have any armies here in South America though, and our navy's over in Asia, and I don't really want to withdraw them in case the Ottomans do decide to, you know, to just sail across. So I guess we'll call in the mercs, as usual. I really do regret not going mercenary ideas, but what are you going to do? I'm not going to abandon an idea group just to go mercenary. We'll stick to our choices for now. We do have another idea group coming up though, so we might grab mercenary then. Have to see how we're feeling at the time. Let's call it some mercenaries. The Independent Army and the Grand Company should do. Should we think about taking anything from France, actually? Does have one location here in America we could take off them. I suppose they've got a bit of land in Africa as well, but we're probably not going to be able to rack up enough war score from them because they have nothing for us to occupy really, except for this location, which we're unlikely to occupy because we haven't brought our navy over. And I doubt our vassals will be able to. So no, I think we'll just white peace France if we get the opportunity to do so. How are we looking on the war? We're actually not too far off the Ottomans considering peace. If we would take this a step further, one thing I'd like to do is have them end their alliance with Bahamas, because we're going to need to go to war with them, obviously, to subjugate them. Although we might be able to get away with not going to war with them if we can rack up enough trade power in the trade node here. To be fair, they do control a lot of the land in the trade node. If we subjugate Gujarat, though, we should be able to... not sure. We need to achieve 75. I suppose we'll cross the bridge when we come to it. As I said, we'll try and get the Ottomans to break their alliance with them. That'll make things trivial. There's actually a few, or maybe two Native American tribes left here in South America. Let's destroy them while we're fighting this war as well, since we've got mercenaries and we're in the area. Alright, Tunis has had enough. We'll throw them out of the war. How close are we to the Ottomans surrendering? Let's check. In fact, they'd surrender right now. What about the Bahamas? The Bahamas is what's blocking us. We just need to make sure that we get enough war score to end the alliance with them, and then we can peace out. Let's see if we can't do more damage to the Ottomans. If we drop their war enthusiasm down to low, that should be it. There, we've done it. Let's just make sure we're getting everything we want. Looks like it. We'll also have them another alliance with the Bahamas. Let's attack Kilwa right now, actually, just in case the Ottomans do something untoward, like ally them. Or, I guess, who's the defender of the faith for the Sunnis? I guess I don't know. If it is the Ottomans, they might... Well, I guess it's nobody right now, because if it was the Ottomans, they'd be showing up. But let's declare war right now, just to be sure. Should we call anyone in? If we call anyone in Asia, they'll be fighting Jaunpur. Jaunpur is quite strong, though, with 158,000 soldiers. So I think we'll avoid calling somebody in. To be fair, we might need to. If the Jaunpur army shows up here, I'll call someone in so that they can attack them from behind. We don't really want to be outmatched. We have 12,000 men here. Kilwa itself has around 12,000. If the Spanish or Jaunpur show up, things might get a little awkward. We can always just hire mercenaries in the region if things are going poorly, but me declaring that war made the Ottomans a little bit more confident. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, I hope. Wouldn't it be awkward if the Ottomans now refuse to make peace? But there we go, the Otto bros are done. Let's just make sure we're getting everything. Yep, we don't want to accidentally miss something. Will they give us any money? They'll give us 0.1 gold. Perfect. More than enough to sustain us. We'll complete both of our decisions here that were being blocked by the Ottomans. That lets us complete this mission here. We just need to do these two now, and then we'll have finished the blue path. With that said, we can now pull our navy out of position and use them to fight Kilwa. Since we've teched up, maybe we should grab the mercenary ideas as well. I do like to go religious though. But what we'll likely do is, once we drop expansion and the development ideas, once we've fully colonized the world, we'll likely grab Diplo then. Or not Diplo, religious. So for now, let's grab the mill ideas. Or military ideas. It just occurred to me, but we can also call in these Central African nations that we've vassalized as well. I'm not sure how helpful they'll be. But, you know, it's always nice to have buddies, even if they're not that helpful. They may as well serve Elysium. There's Kilwa's capital taken. Now we'd really just need for the war score to tick up. We'll also full annex. We'll also full occupy their nation as well. It looks like Kilwa's decided to go and bully the people we called in, so I guess we'll go and help them. Least we can do for bringing them into this situation, right? Ooh, I was wondering, but it looks like the Spanish have showed up. Hopefully that won't create any problems. We're losing a fight here. This was pretty close. If we'd had all of our soldiers together, I think we could have won this. Too bad, let's fall back. Now let's call up some mercenaries to buff out our numbers. There was armies of Spain. Was there Jean-Per? I'm pretty sure there was, but I'm not seeing them now. Yeah, there they are. Saw them for a split second. There's a lot of soldiers here. How many do we have? We have around 100k it looks like. Maybe 130. They've got 150? No, 170 I'd say. Let's call up more mercenaries. Problem is, are there any that are going to show up in a reasonable time frame? I don't really want to hire guys that are going to take a whole year to spawn. These guys will spawn soon. Anyone else? I think that's a lot when it comes to reinforcements. Ooh, looks like we might catch out Jean-Per's army here. That would be excellent. Thin their numbers a bit. Jean-Per's actually quite close to piecing out. That would be excellent if they did so. Let's grab Adele's army here and a bit of that Kilwa army. Perfect. Maybe this wasn't as bad a situation as I thought it was. There's some Spanish coming down from the north. It'd be nice if we could get the Spanish to peace out as well. Jean-Per's out of here. That's nice. That should really reduce Kilwa's willingness to continue the war. We'll need to retake their capital though because they liberated it. We've retaken their capital. Their enemy armies have gone behind us, which sounds perfect, honestly. It means we might be able to grab them and they won't be able to escape. We'll try our best. The Spanish and the Italians are quite close to wanting out of the war. It looks like they're going to escape there, though. Who is down here? Is it just Kilwa? I guess we'll go and wipe out the Kilwan armies then. Let his allies flee while we go in and not mop him up. Dal is out. Now it's just Spain and Kilwa left. And once the Spanish are gone, I doubt Kilwa will last very long at all. Yep, there goes Spain. Now it's just Kilwa. Might take a bit for us to occupy enough land for them to surrender. But at this point, Kilwa barely has an army that can even think about resisting us. There, we've done it. Kilwa surrenders. I guess we'll hold a triumph, why not? This gives us a large share of trade in most of the locations we need. We just need to gain a majority. Is it a majority? No, it's 66% in the Ivory Coast. We'll send a trade expedition, which is something I don't think I explained, but it's one of the options we get from upgrading one of our wonders. We do have a bit of an incident, though. We've got Akulu rebels over in the lands we took from the Ottomans. If they win, they'll of course declare their independence. So we'll need to transport somebody over to deal with them. We are tapped on manpower now, though, so we'll need to be a little passive for a little while. Ooh, we've also reached the point where we can become the economic hegemony. Doing this will allow us to proceed down a second path, either green or red. We'll need to think about that a little, though. For now, though, I think we'll leave things here. We've made quite a bit of progress. Managed to take all of Asia, I think? I guess there's the bit Spartania's taken, and there's the bits of India we still haven't pacified, but that'll be for next time. I'll thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.